English 0365, Week 3. Hi, I hope all of you are doing well, and now that you are familiar with the course, everything is going smoothly. So before we continue with the course content, I want to check the course layout and some files. I'm going to check right now where to find the PowerPoints from the book. Also, I want to show you the study help, and I want to talk a little bit about Townsend Press. So let's start with the PowerPoints from the book. So right here under week number 3, you see that it says Chapter 2 Main Ideas, and that is under PowerPoint. So you can see the Chapter 2 Main Ideas PowerPoint right from here. Also, if you go down the page here, you're going to find that I have them all together. So here on the side it says PowerPoints from main book. If you click there, you're going to see Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 right now. Here on the side, you're going to see a titles that says Study Help. There you can find the answers from mastery tests from this chapter that we just finished studying. So you can click on Study Help and you're going to see all the answers. And then something that was a little bit confusing this week was the Townsend Press mastery tests. I know that in the syllabus I had written that you do mastery tests 5 and 6 and that they were due Wednesday. I guess that was the word that confused you, due, because I wanted you to do them by Wednesday. That didn't mean you had to submit them anywhere. So normally I don't even tell you how many mastery tests you to do. This week I did just because it was the first week, so I wanted to make sure you did some. But normally the mastery tests, besides doing as many as you want in the book, those are the ones that are due in Townsend Press online resources, and those are due every Thursday. So if I confused you, I am sorry. Some of you, I knew you were trying to find a file for them. Well, I had no file. I just wanted you to do them. That's all. But from now on, you're not going to find any file either. You're going to go to townsendpress.com or .net, and you're going to do the exercises there. Do not do the one that says exercise. Do the ones that says mastery tests. Some weeks there are 3, some weeks there are 4. Last week you had to do 4. This coming week, I know you only have to do 3. But if you want to do the ones in the book, you are welcome to do so, and the answers are going to be available for you at the end of the week on Friday. Okay, so the main skill that we are learning this week is main ideas. What is a main idea? How do you find main ideas? And that's what I'm going to talk about a little bit on this present. So let's see. What is a main idea? Ask yourself. By the way, this presentation has here a little speaker. That means that you can hear the presentation with my voice at your leisure. But right now, I'm just going to review it quickly for you. Okay, so there are times when your instructor will have you read a paragraph and then will ask you this very important question. What's the main idea? Not what is a main idea, but what's the main idea of the whole paragraph, and how do you find it? So we know that every paragraph needs to have a topic. If you have more than one topic per paragraph, then it means that the paragraph is not very well organized. To find the topic, ask yourself, who or what is the paragraph about? And that's going to lead you into the right direction. Let's look at the following paragraph. Pets are often an important part of people's lives. Different types of animals can be pets, ranging from reptiles to horses. One of the most common pets is a dog. Dogs serve a variety of purposes for humankind. One way dogs serve humans is they're great just for companionship. Many an only child has bonded with his or her Fido, thus having a willing and loyal friend to play with on a daily basis. Additionally, dogs have served humans as work animals, corralling sheep, conquering rats, and guarding the homestead. Finally, dogs are also used to serve the handicapped, for example, by leading the blind, alerting the hearing impaired, and alerting epileptics of impending seizures. So, we have a paragraph here. Ask yourself this question: what is this paragraph about? What is it talking about? Or who is it talking about? Look at the first sentence here. Pets are often an important part of people's lives. Do you think that's the main idea? Why? Or there's different kinds of pets. You think that's the main idea? Or one of the most common ones is dog. Is that the main idea? Think about that, and we're going to look at the next one. So, as I just told you, ask yourself the question, what is the paragraph about? Okay, let's look in the next slide what we think. Yeah, you got it. I bet you said dogs. Let's look at the paragraph again to find the main idea then. Okay, so we have the first, second, and third sentence. Is the paragraph about how important pets are in your life? Or is it about all the different kinds of pets? Or is it specifically about dogs? No, the answer to that was no, right? Different types of animals can be pets, ranging from reptiles to horses. Is the whole paragraph trying to tell you something about pets ranging from reptiles to horses? Now let's look at the next sentence. The answer for that one was no. One of the most common pets is a dog. Is the whole paragraph about how common dogs are? No. Let's look at the next sentence. Dogs serve a variety of purposes for common-kind. Does the paragraph tell us about the different purposes dogs serve? Yes. The whole paragraph is telling you about the variety of purposes dogs serve. So now if you look at the rest of the paragraph, we're going to say that they are great for companionship. And let's look what else. Okay, so they're good for companionship. Additionally, they serve as work animals. They also used to serve the handicapped. So you can see here how the main idea, if we go back to the paragraph about the main idea, let's go back to the whole paragraph here. You can see that in this case, the main idea is not the first sentence, it's not the second sentence, but it's actually the third sentence. Dogs serve as a variety of purposes. So you will find that many books tell you that usually the main idea is the first sentence, but a lot of times the main idea is just an introduction. The first sentence is only an introduction, but the main idea is found somewhere else. So when you look at this chapter and when you look at the PowerPoint that accompanies the book, it's going to talk about all the different places that you can find the main idea. And that's I'm not going to go through that because you can do that yourself, but I wanted to show you what is a good way of finding main idea. I also want to point out that this week you have an extra assignment. Why do you have an extra assignment? Because I want you to practice. So if you go to your book to page 474, there is a reading there called Taming the Anger Monster. You're going to read that and then you're going to answer questions 1 through 5 only. Do not answer all the questions because questions 1 and 2 are about vocabulary and context, which is what we did last week, and I want you to review it. And then questions 3, 4, and 5 are central point and main idea. So I wanted you to have a little bit extra practice, and that's why I have added an additional reading now that you're familiar with the course. Another area that I mentioned very briefly last week, but I want you to pay a lot more attention to it this week, is annotations. You're going to have to annotate your reading, the first one that is due on Wednesday, and you're going to send it to me in the Dropbox that's in week 3. You can scan the pages, or you can take a photograph and you can send them. But let's go over some of the main points for annotations. Basically, the whole idea of annotating a text is so that you become an active reader. You've probably seen many times, or maybe you have done it yourself, when you look at a page and it has all of this yellow or pink highlighting. Well, that's not very useful because it doesn't really show anything. When you are annotating, what I want you to think about is having a conversation with the text. And we're going to talk briefly about different techniques that you can use. So in one of them, you can underline important terms, you can circle a definition and perhaps write the meaning. You can write a keyword and definition in the margin. That's what I always want you to use, your margins. You're going to signal where important information can be found. So maybe you can use a symbol or maybe you can highlight. Writing a short summary in the margin, especially when you are studying. Not so much for this class, but let's say you're in a sociology class, you're in a history class. You don't want to read the whole chapter again. If you heard a short summary on the margin, or even if you use another piece of paper to write short summaries, that will be really helpful. Maybe you can write yourself a question in the margin, or you can indicate steps in a process by marking 1, 2, 3, and so on. So these are some of the techniques that you can use for annotations, and I want to show you the next annotation text handout that is a little bit more specific. Okay, so this one is not so much talking about the technique, but what kind of things you want to annotate. So observations about what is being said. Maybe I agree, I don't like it, he has a good point. Something that you are reminded of. Are you reminded of somebody or a feeling or a place? Any questions you have as you're reading? Is there something you don't understand? Is there a question you would ask the author? Any idea that occurs to you, connecting it to the passage, to real life. Again, things you agree or disagree. A summary comment, and they identify themes that are being developed or any literary devices. So here, this is an example of an annotated text. As you can see here, they're using arrows, they're circling to, if they don't understand what this. Choppy logic doesn't make sense. Repetition shows how angry he is, can't think straight because how, that's repetition to make a point. So the author, you see, the person who annotated this is being very, very active with this text. And this is a really good study guide. If you're studying for a test in a regular subject, this will give you excellent way to study for future tests. I finally want to give you one more example of an annotated text. So the title of this text is How Does Memory Work? And then human memory works on two different levels, short-term and long-term. So the person who was reading that wrote 2 levels, and here memory works on 2 levels. So you can either make an annotation if you're typing, or if you're writing it by hand, you can do that. And then remember how we said that we can use numbers to indicate process or to indicate different ideas. So we have number 1, short term, number 2, long term. And here there's an explanation about focus attention. So here, focus attention, what you need to know, and then 7 to 9 items. So here is an example of what an annotated text. Notice that we've highlighted, but we've only highlighted significant words and not the whole text. So I hope now you have a clearer idea of what annotations are. You can look at this again at your leisure, but make sure that when you annotate the text that you're going to send me, you make sure that you have taken good notes on the margin of the page in the text itself. If you have any questions, please ask. And that's basically all that I have for you this week. What I would like you to do is send me some feedback about the course layout. Is it easy for you to follow it? Are there any difficulties? Is there something that you still don't understand? How easy is it to follow this class online, or how difficult? Is there something that I can add to help you? Any challenges that you're having? Please give me your feedback. It's very important to me because I know that many of you are new to online learning, and I want to make the experience as easy for you. Not that the class is easy. I know the class is hard. I know that it has a lot of work, but hopefully I have laid it out in a way that it's easy to follow and that you have by now established a pattern. If you would please send this as an email to me by Tuesday evening, I would very much appreciate it. That's all for now. I hope you have a great week.